Hello, my name is MERRELL Stewart, and this is a presentation of the literature review Afrofuturism and the Future, done for the University of Houston, CUIN 307347 Seminar in Learning, Design, and Technology. So these are our contents. We start with the quote, "The war for our future began in the past." It was written by me. We have the introduction. We have what is Afrofuturism, why we need Afrofuturism, Afrofuturism and technology, and gaps in the literature and conclusions. We're going to start with some key terms. Key terms for this review include words such as Afrofuturism, future, black, present, fiction, technology, the diaspora, Afrofuturist, and there's just a plethora of words that can be considered key terms for this review. This literary review attempts to provide a literature search on Afrofuturism, its characteristics, what it means to its target audience, and the major topics that Afrofuturism should address in order to serve the African diaspora. I chose the topic of Afrofuturism because of the current state of the black psyche in America, physically and emotionally and economically attacked, trauma-ridden, and we need an escape. And so Afrofuturism has always been one of my own personal methods for escape. The subject reaches across different types of media. Contributions to the field of Afrofuturism transcend literary articles, to comic books, video games, fashion, movies, and other pieces of entertainment. Afrofuturism has typically been created as a natural expression of a group to see more positive Afrocentric realities in media, and it's significant because the hurdles for these ideas to become mainstream are similar to the hurdles that the culture itself faces. So Afrofuturism was created as a product of parallel thinkings of various writers, musicians, fashion designers, and other creatives. They were driven towards imagining, envisioning, and realizing a future where the black diaspora is living, thriving, and overcoming the present-day challenges. There are variations to Afrofuturism, such as African futurism, which is a more potent form of Afrofuturism, where more Eurocentric elements are removed in order to not subvert the potency of the content. Sometimes the content is reduced in its potency to give the body of work a more universal appeal, and African futurism rejects that. What Afrofuturism is not is something called tokenism, where you may see one minority character in a predominantly Eurocentric universe, or something called white gaze, where the entire story may be set in the future, but it is not told from the perspective of the culture that it is representing. So number 3, why we need Afrofuturism. Afrofuturist works are more positive, more optimistic, and promising than the average science fiction work. Creators of Afrofuturism seek to create a better world than their current existence, which may contrast from normal futurism, which may show stories such as the Terminator or the Matrix, where machines have completely taken over human society, or are trying to turn us into batteries, or just get rid of us completely. Afrofuturism causes for self-reflection, and this is a quote from Mark Derry in his work from 1994. It says, "Can a community whose past has been deliberately rubbed out and whose energies have been subsequently consumed by the search for legible traces of its history imagine possible futures?" And so the very undertaking of conceptualizing Afrofuturism is grand and ambitious in its own right. And then alienation, the feeling of alienation and displacement from one's homeland, is a theme that can be echoed throughout science fiction and Afrofuturism. A recurring figure and discourse of Afrofuturism that help imagine different realities are seen when the captured slave is recast as the abducted alien. And that comes from Stephen Thrasher. Afrofuturism and technology. So there are positives and negatives to Afrofuturism and its relationship with technology. Afrofuturistic works are more positive, more optimistic, and more promising than the average science fiction work. Creators of Afrofuturism seek to create a better world than their current existence. The technology allows the disenfranchised a way to level the socioeconomic, educational, and racially inequitable playing field. But negatives are that the tools and the technologies of the future are already being built, and members of the diaspora are either marginalized further by the lack of the access to the technology, or systematically oppressed by the way the technology is designed. So it is a cycle of positive and negatives. And so Afrofuturists tend to ask the questions: who is designing the technology, and are there implicit biases in the way that the computer is programmed, or the way that the software carries out its algorithms? So there are some gaps in the literature. There are no specific studies on connecting Afrofuturist themes back to the progressive agendas of the African diaspora of either independent party or either political party in America or anywhere across the world. The imaginings of the future will stay in the realm of fantasy unless further connected to present day issues. And so I've done a small amount of trying to connect this research, and some scholars, legislators, and authors on Black issues have laid out various points in the document titled The Black Agenda. And so it would be, in my opinion, an intelligent move for Afrofuturists to further connect their fiction, their instructional technology, their design of games and film and media back to the actual agenda for progress, so that we might one day reach those Afrofuturistic ideas. So in conclusion, this literature gives an overview of the term Afrofuturism. It assesses its present day value and necessity to the diaspora, and it seeks to further enhance its value by attaching the themes to real world problems. This literature contributes to the field by laying the groundwork so that a connection can be made between real Black issues and the science fantasy genre of Afrofuturism. Recommendations for further research would include assessing the needs of the diaspora outside of America and further connecting Afrofuturist literature to the issues affecting the African diaspora. Thank you.